Welcome back, Roman Vacationers. We are in Trastevere today. We are here for part 2 of the Trastevere tour. James did do the first one for you, and right now James is here with me.
Hi guys.
Hello. And we are picking up Mircea at his house because he lives in this wonderful old part of Trastevere, and we are here to see Mircea.
Hello.
Hello. And Barney is here today. Let's see where he is.
Yeah, don't worry.
Say hi, Barney. Okay. So Mircea's going to do the Trastevere tour part 2 for you today. So we're going to turn it over to him, and we're going to take a little walk through this kind of more local side of Trastevere. So enjoy, and we hope you guys love this one. Here you go.
Hello, tiny tour people. So welcome to where I spend my time. I actually live in that house, but don't worry, don't write the address. Now, Trastevere is a very, very old neighborhood, and it's pretty much up and coming even now because it's a place where a lot of the youth of the city find a place to live. One of the main reasons would be rents aren't that high due to the fact that the buildings are really, really old and pretty shoddy plumbing. But in any case, the history of the neighborhood dates back to pre-Roman times. The Romans actually referred to this side of the river because it's on the other side from the Colosseum and the historical center of Rome. They referred to this side of the river as Transtiberina, on the other side of the Tiber. And originally, they called it the Ripa Etrusca, the Etruscan side of the river. They basically take it from the Etruscans right before 509 before Christ, when Rome turns into a republic. As ages went, this was considered a village outside of Rome. We're going this way, guys. Don't worry, I'm showing them where I live as well. This was considered basically as a poor side of Rome outside of the city. There was 14 districts created by the first emperor of Rome. This was the 14th of them. This is where you find a lot of immigrants coming to Rome because it was a lot cheaper and closer to the Roman Forum on the other side of the river. This is where you find the original Jewish communities moving to Rome in the 2nd century before Christ, and Syrian communities. And in fact, the little tiny street that I'm going on, it's characteristic of Trastevere, where the streets didn't have access for carts, pretty much well into the 1400s, the 15th century. The area we're going through now is called the Vicolo de Atleta, the little tiny street of the athlete. This is where you had the original Jewish community heart. And in fact, right in front of us, and I'm going to stop right next to it, you have the first synagogue in Rome, built in 970. However, actually acknowledged as a synagogue around the year 1050. It actually, it was the first one, and it's the oldest still preserved. It is not a synagogue nowadays. It was decommissioned more than 100 years ago. At this point, it's private property. It's an actually really good restaurant. However, it was one of the few synagogues in Rome up until recently, up until 100 years ago, to have a mikhev inside. If you don't know what that is, a mikhev is basically a spiritual purging pool that many older synagogues would have. And I'm referring to this building here, first synagogue in Rome, 970 after Christ. And in fact, on some of the pillars around, you will, if you come here and see, because on camera it won't be able to be seen that easily, you will have Jewish writing. Now, as we're going through the neighborhood, this also becomes one of the older Christian neighborhoods of Rome. And that's because at the beginning, if you all remember, Christianity was an illegal religion in the Roman Empire. So therefore, most of them would find it easier to hide in the minority neighborhood of Trastevere, where you already had Syrians, Jewish people, and a lot of people from the east. Let's not forget, the very first Christians were Jewish. So therefore, they spoke the same Aramaic language as the people here. So they came here. I am also a tiger daddy, and I'm pretty sure my dog is going to go under a car. Now, as we leave that area, we're walking towards the Christian side of it, which would be Santa Cecilia. It's one of the older churches in this area. It dates to the 5th century after Christ, so 400s after Christ. Built on the ruins of an illegal Christian church from the 3rd century, from the 200s. Now, if you were to take the streets behind me and go that way, you'll also find the very, very famous Porta Portese, where you have the thrift shop, and you can find everything from furniture to the Lego pieces I lost when I was 3. Now, as we're walking through, Trastevere is really famous nowadays for laid-back crafts shops, basically, as you can see all around. and restaurants, laid-back bars and so on. The Trastevere people, being multicultural and kind of in an island of their own, in the middle of the city, but it's very poorly connected historically, they kind of have their own culture and their own tradition that they're called Trasteverini, and it was pretty hard to integrate moving in this area. One of the better restaurants would be right in front of Santa Cecilia, which is the church we'll finish our tiny tour to today. Well, I told you it was based on a hidden Christian sanctuary from the 3rd century, the 200s. It's going to have its roots in the 5th century, the 400s, and then later on rebuilt and rebuilt time and time again throughout the Renaissance and all the way to the Baroque period. As you probably know, Santa Cecilia is the patron saint of music, and one of my favorite things to do in this neighborhood is walk my dog into the courtyard, because quite often you have nuns and monks and just random people showing up and playing music. Also, there's a little pool that my dog runs into, which is pretty nice. So if you ever find yourself in Trastevere, one of the gems, and it's kind of hidden if you've noticed, out of tiny little streets, you walk through an arch, and then you find this. The church Santa Cecilia, which is really beautiful, first of all, and second of all, you will have the courtyard where you can always relax. Now, thank you very, very much for the little trip in my corner of the world. If you ever come around, please give us notice, and we will personally take you through here. And on behalf of the whole Roman Vacation team, me, Angela, and James, which is now being dragged by our mascot Barney.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thank you for coming on another Tuesday adventure with us.